Let's see what we got in here for minnows today. Now, when you're pulling these guys out here, that's what you call real minnows. You know, in musky fishing for years, live bait fishing was really frowned upon. But today's day and age, a lot of people are using, starting employing quick strike, sort of European systems to use for live bait fishing, so you set the hook really quickly. Right now I'm fishing with Jeremy Smith and my son Nick, and we're gonna look at live bait musky fishing, and I would imagine it's gonna be quite an interesting day today.
We're gonna catch some fish. We'll go through a couple systems on what we do to fish live bait in lakes and rivers throughout the fall.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
Here, want to grab me one of those little runts out of there?
Sure will.
Oh, there you go. Come here, buddy. See, I just sort of nose hook them, just slightly through the skin hook so you can tear it off pretty quickly when the muskie bites it. And the trailer hook is just slightly skin hook like this. And that's it. Usually muskies will have the tendency, big predators, a lot of times will generally hit the sucker by the head. And we're fishing it underneath a big float.
You know, the nice part about these bobbers is you can kind of tell when the sucker is sort of in trouble. As we can see right here, my sucker is going absolutely wild. It's usually a good indicator that something's going on.
Somebody's checking them out. Those live baits are just tattletales. They always let you know when one of those big customers is around.
One thing nice about having a float, you can see which direction the fish is moving when it grabs it, because it makes it a lot easier to set the hook on the fish, because you don't want the fish swimming towards the boat.
Oh, I got one.
Oh, you do?
A baby muskie.
Look at this, Nick has one.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna reach
Just flip him in the boat?
Oh, no, just lost him. It was like about this big.
He was on there the whole time. He was hooked too.
Still
He was.
looking at it.
That was actually the muskie trying to kick away. Wow, okay. All right.
You got one for sure, Jim?
No. He's just super nervous.
The secret to live bait fishing for muskie is having really active bait. And the key to having active bait is to not stress the bait. So the system I'm using right now has no hooks penetrating the sucker minnow, and everything is designed to break free. Here's how it works. I'm going to use a soft plastic as an example. I've simply got a VMC. This is a 9617, my favorite hook for live bait fishing. It's bent out so you can see that the hooks won't drive into the side of the sucker, and I simply put a rubber band around the side of it. I'll run this hook through. You can see how that, even when I slide it through here, it's not going to catch on the side of the sucker minnow. And then I use what's called a bridle system. I've got a bait needle. This is simply just taking a piece of wire, you make a loop on the end, use a small rubber band, and you go through the nose of the sucker. I'll come through, you loop back around, and then essentially what I do is I take a snap and I hook that right up to the hook system. So now when I set the hook on this thing, everything just simply breaks free, and I'm fighting the fish and the sucker's off swimming around. So this is the best thing that I've found to keep bait fresh and healthy. I feel like I get a lot more bites with this than I do when I'm poking hooks into the sucker, and it's also really, really good at hooking fish. And really all I have to do is when I get bit, I simply reel and I pull, and this rubber band is the only tension I've got. That rubber band breaks easy, and boom, the hook's right in the muskie's mouth.
Well, I just got myself a strike. We're fishing in a river fishing situation right now, and you want to be sort of downstream of the strike. We'll see if we can get them here.
How far out are you?
About right there.
Boy.
Okay, there, it's good. Oh, whoa, I can't even catch up with him. Whoa,
Careful,
you gotta hang tight on him. Let's see what he looks like.
What do you got here? Be a big one.
Yep.
I think it's a nice one.
Is he?
Looks decent.
Yeah, let's see. Boy, he feels heavy. I haven't seen him yet. Okay.
Nice one, yeah, really nice fish.
Is
Big
it?
fish, yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
Come here, buddy. Where is he? Ooh, there's a big,
That's
a big
really
one.
big one.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
This segment is brought to you by Sunset Country, Ontario, Canada. You gotta come visit.
Whoop, on this side here. Okay, Nick, you can go in the front. Let me get in the back here. Whoa! One thing that's about sucker fishing. Whoa, there you go.
Yeah, nice.
There you got one. Oh,
cool deal, buddy.
wow.
Oh, that's a good one.
This is the one time of the year, and it's an absolute fabulous time to bring novice fishermen fishing. And that's why I brought these guys.
Oh, he's out too.
Yeah, look at that, the hook's out.
The one thing that's amazing about the live bait fishing system is it's very rare that you get fish hooked deep. Like a lot of times you'll have bucktails or big plastics, so they'll choke it down. Almost every time we catch these fish, it's somewhere on the outside of the mouth, and it's really easy on the fish.
She's ready for you.
There you go. Let's see what you got. I'll get out of the way and.
Boy, she's a real fatso, boy.
That's
a
a beauty.
beautiful fish. This is a beautiful fish. Oh boy, he's a biggie.
Oh
Look at
yeah,
that.
wow. Sweet.
Beautiful fish.
That
though.
thing
Look
is
at the
gorgeous.
color
Look
of
at that
this fish.
green sheen.
Yep. Oh, we'll get her back in the
Sweet.
water. Boy, look at that thing.
That is a sweet fish. There you go. See, dude. Cool.
The location of muskies in rivers is pretty specific throughout the cold water period. Once the water temperature drops into the low 50-degree range, river muskies tend to gather in deep water holes. The best spots have large, slack water or slow current flow areas within them. We like to slow troll suckers in and around any current breaks in these holes. In lake situations, we tend to concentrate our efforts along any sharper drop-offs around any structure. The interesting point is you can catch these fish quite shallow. Once the water temperature starts dropping into the mid-40-degree range, tulipies spawn at night on these exact same reef systems. Tulipies are a vital prey species throughout the cold water period.
Boy, it's a beautiful day, late October, and we're hunting muskies. I'm up in front casting some soft plastics and some hard baits along the edge while Nick and Jer are dragging suckers, and I suspect they might catch one before I do. We'll see.
The idea that we're doing here is covering as much water as we can. So both Nick and I are fishing boards, and you'll notice that we're not spreading the boards out over a big area. Right now we're fishing a rock spine. So we want to keep both baits as close to that edge as we possibly can. So we're both fishing off the left side of the boat here. Jim's casting on top, he's bringing fish in, and if one's close to the boat, I've got a better shot at it. If there's one that's way up on top, Nick's bait's gonna run over it. So with suckers, you don't have to just throw a bobber out and kind of drift around. You can be pretty precise in how you're fishing them.
You can see what we're on here. We're on a great big classic Main Lake point here, and it jumps off to deeper water on the outside face, but you look up to the left, and I'm looking at the side imagery 48 feet out, and you can see all these great big boulders, and that's probably about 15 to 30 feet out away from the side of the boat. And you can see that's where I'm actually got the boards positioned, and they're skirting right along the edge of this deep boulder run right here. That's it, you know, this technology is really cool for really, you can see where the fish are actually positioned. A lot of times they'll be sitting up tight right along the edge.
Electronics are a big part of being successful on the water. Mapping, 2D sonar, down imaging, side imaging, all have key strengths in various fish finding processes. In the last couple of years, Hummingbird's mega imaging has become an incredible tool for musky fishing in the fact you don't have to have a follow-up to know there's a fish on a spot. A lot of hardcore musky fishermen who have this technology simply drop waypoints on any fish they see on their electronics, and then intermittently come back to these same spots during prime feeding windows. The detail is actually amazing. In some conditions, you can actually see each fin and the relative size of the fish.
One of the great things about boat control technology today is how you can operate the boat in multiple places in the boat. So Jimmy's taking a break right now, going for some Cheetos, it looks like. And with the remote, this is a remote that comes with this. We've got a Minn Kota Ultrex on this boat. This is an iPilot Link motor, and I can control the boat back here along with do a number of other features like follow the contour, cruise control. I've got autopilot. So having a boat with iPilot or iPilot Link technology makes it really easy, no matter where you're at in the boat, to always maintain perfect boat control.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
So I like to chase all different types of species throughout the year, but when fall rolls around, muskies have to be my favorite because this time of year is when they get big and fat, and this is when you catch the biggest trophies of the year.
Yeah! All right, baby. That's a big boy.
And it was just a couple of years ago in a central Minnesota lake.
Another fish in the water.
Me and one of my buddies got a double header.
He is. He's there. He's there. He's going after it, Nick. He wants it. He got him. Hit him. Hit him. You got him. You got him. You got him. Holy cow.
This is a great illustration on how fast you can set the hook with a properly rigged quick strike rig. You'll see the muskie grabs a sucker and turns away from the boat. Nick simply did a slow, solid sweep set into the fish.
You got him. You got him.
After some pandemonium, we ultimately landed both 50-inchers in the same net.
You got both of them, boys. Oh, yeah.
It'll probably never happen again, but it was interesting to say the least.
Nice work.
That's fall cold water sucker fishing.
Planer boards are a tool that we use when we're trolling to get baits away from the boat and cover larger areas of water. So we've got 3 boards on the boat here that we'll end up using for musky fishing, believe it or not, and of course for a lot of other applications. The board that I'm using right now, this is the smallest board we've got from offshore. This is generally used for crappie fishing, trolling little crankbaits or little spinners for trout, something like that. But with the sucker deal, it's just got the right buoyancy that I can almost use this as a bobber, but I can still pull that sucker out away from the boat a pretty short distance. Now the next size we've got is slightly bigger. This is the most common board used by walleye fishermen. It's also the board that Nick is using. Can handle a little bit bigger bait. So that's the board that we're using to pull the sucker the farthest away from the boat. Now if we were out trolling crankbaits for muskies, this is the board that we'd choose here. This is the mag planer. Having that option of the small, medium, and large is really effective for us depending on the conditions we're fishing, what baits we're fishing. We can match all of those to the boards and be successful on the water.
You know, throughout the cold water period, this is a really key time for throwing great big soft plastics. This is a great big swim bait, but you have medusas, bulldogs. These are really heavy baits, and you need the right rod and reel to cast these baits. This is a St. Croix's big plastics rod. Now, this is a really pretty key rod in the fact that what it is, it's a 9-foot, extra heavy, fast action rod, but you'll notice it's got a really big wide butt to it. And what this enables you to do to really easily hurl these great big baits, which is really sort of comfortable, but you'll notice I can get that butt and put it underneath my arm, and it gives you the leverage to comfortably fish these lures. You know, and then I got this rigged with the 7.1 400 Lexa Daiwa reel. But this is definitely a far different rod than what those guys are fishing suckers on. It's, you know, it's a different presentation. You really need a different rod.
Now there's a lot of different opinions out there about what is the right rod and reel to use for sucker fishing. So what a lot of guys like to do is they like to fish with a pretty heavy fast action rod. Well, they'll get on top of the fish and they snap set into the fish. So they're breaking everything free. Now what we like to fish with is more of a traditional rod style for live bait fishing. I'm actually fishing with St. Croix's downsizer right now. This is the 9-foot medium light fast action rod. So just like if I was live bait rigging, I like that softer tip to be able to watch the minnow And when a muskie bites the bait, you can put a little pressure on them. In fact, you're often better off to leave pressure on the fish when they're swimming away with it than you are to just drop it and give them slack line. And the idea with this is, because I'm fishing with a rubber band system that breaks away relatively easily, I'm able to reel down, and with just a good pull, I can break everything free, and now I'm just into fighting the fish. On the reel side, line counters, in my opinion, are huge. Whether you're dragging boards like we are now, or if you want to fish vertically for deeper fish, having a line counter reel is really a big deal. If you're fishing, say, 25 feet, you want your bait 15 feet down, well, it's pretty easy to do with the line counter. So this downsizer rod here, the 9-footer, paired with a Daiwa Alexa line counter, this is a size 300, is an easy deal to fish if you're pulling baits like we are all day. Doing that will certainly add more fish to your boat in the fall.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
As you can see, we're moving along this boulder ledge, and look at right there, that's a muskie. Look at it, it's a perfect silhouette of the fish. You can see the fins right there. It's sitting right in like a little boulder slide right in the corner there. That's where we have our bait suckers, hopefully sort of gliding over that spot.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I got one.
Get them in here. You got one, Jer?
Yep.
There.
I was gonna say, usually this is a good spot. Which way do you want me to turn, left or right?
He's going away from me, so I'll just reel. I'm gonna get him. You guys ready? There, we got him.
Get the net, Nick. Nick, yep, I'll deal with this.
That was sweet, Jim. I just rolled that board over those big rocks that you saw. Boom. Sweet. Run the board. I should be able to reel through this board. Oh, nice fish too. Big fish. Big, 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 huge, giant fish. Nice. That was a great strike, boys. Unbelievable. Big, giant muskie. Yeah. How do you like that? Planer boards and live bait. Here we go. I just don't, oh, that's, whoa, that's scary. That's a big boy there, boys. Yeah. Okay. As soon as I get a chance, Nick, I'm gonna lead him towards you. I just don't want him to come and shake his head towards me again. Shaking, this is gonna be your shot here very soon. This is good. Oh, okay.
Whoa, whoa, that's a nice one. Whoop.
Oh yeah, Nicholas, how do you like that?
Here, I'll take the board off.
Congratulations, I got it, Jimmy.
Here,
That's
we got
great.
things flopping all
Woo!
over here.
How do you like that deal, boys? Oh man, I tell you what, fall is the time of year when giant fish happen, and if the bite gets tough, sometimes fishing with live bait can be the secret, and also keeping your baits away from the boat, like with these offshores here. Unreal, a crappie board catches a fish that can eat a dozen crappies with a swoop. Cool. Perfect hook job. That's the thing with these live bait rigs. They just don't do a lot of damage to fish. People used to think live bait fishing for muskies was very damaging, but the truth of the matter is it really is not.
With the right rig, no question. This is like almost more European or quick strike technology.
Look at
Come
that,
here, buddy.
baby,
Boy,
huh?
that's a biggie.
Oh, that's
beautiful
a really
fish.
Big fish. Wow, just a gigantic, gigantic muskie. Hey, come out, enjoy the beautiful fall fishing that exists all over North America. Get out, experiment with some boards. You can cover lots of water and hopefully catch some giant fish like this.
That's a
Woo!
nice.
Every year I've been involved with the Minnesota Fishing Challenge, which is a fundraiser for the adult teen challenge centers all across Minnesota. And it's been a real blessing to me to be a part of this. And I want to read you just a short email that I got from somebody that was there this year. He said, I want to thank you for everything you do with the Minnesota Fishing Challenge tournament. I talked to you briefly at the weigh-in tent following the high school pictures. Something that I believe God put on my heart at the church during the presentation Friday night. As a tournament director, Bernie is worried about the amount of teams and the amount of money. But this tournament has turned into even more than that. First of all, for myself, this has turned into a yearly reunion of my faith and fishing family. Fast forward to Saturday late night, I received a text from my dad that wanted to come over to our hotel room. At first I was reluctant. It was 10 o'clock at night. I wasn't dressed, just finished the tournament and had another one Sunday AM at 6 a.m. on a whitefish chain. He came over to thank me for inviting him to the fishing challenge tournament. He was a boat captain for his son. Continually on the verge of tears, he explained that he had never been at any type of an event like this and was completely amazed as he watched it all unfold that night. We talked for a while longer and he kept trying to explain what he felt. Compassion, love, the Holy Spirit, all of it so present at this event. He looked right at me, tears welling in his eyes, and said that he is a different man from a day ago. I've been at a lot of events like this, and his story is not unique. Without a doubt, he was touched by the hand of God that night. Got a question for you. Has there ever been a time in your life where you sensed the hand of God reaching out to you? A moment, something that happened, just something out of the ordinary where you felt that real tug, that sensitivity in your heart. I know God tries to reach all of us through circumstances in life, people, times, situations. This man was touched by the hand of God that night. He'll never be the same again. Have you ever felt the hand of God touch you? If there's a sensitivity in your heart, act on it. It is no coincidence. It's God going, bing, 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 knocking at your door. Don't let an opportunity like that go by. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.